What is up? Welcome into a video exclusive Roughing the Kicker. I'm joined here with Jordan Foote, our guy, to talk about the trade that the Chiefs made. Now, it's not the side of a trade that maybe we expected the Chiefs to be on, but they send running back DeAndre Washington and a 2020 round seventh round pick in exchange for a 2021 sixth round pick from the Miami Dolphins, I should say. Joining me to break this down, Jordan Foote. Jordan, how you doing today, man?
Tucker, I'm good, man. It's election days. We're recording this, so a lot of big stuff
Yeah.
happening. I believe the Gold Glove Awards are being announced tonight for baseball.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and I guess the third most important thing would be a DeAndre Washington trade, or maybe we should move it up to one. I don't know.
Yeah, not the kind of trade that I expected personally. I know when I was talking with you and with Connor especially, he was kind of like, no, the Chiefs aren't going to trade anybody. They're not going to move this way. If
Mm-mm.
they do anything, it'll be buying because they're a contender. Contenders buy,
Mhm.
losers sell. That's usually how it goes. That's not how it went today. The Chiefs do get some more draft capital, which is kind of interesting. They trade DeAndre Washington. Jordan, what were your first reactions to hearing the news of this trade?
I mean, before I could go and really look at anything in terms of like Brett Veach's draft history, I knew that Miami's rush offense was bad. I mean, they're
Mhm.
28th in the league. Miles Gaskin and Matt Breida are two solid backs. They needed depth there. I mean, DeAndre Washington was stuck behind Clyde. He was stuck behind Le'Veon. He was stuck behind Darrell Williams. He was stuck behind Darwin Thompson. I mean, he played in one game all season on offense, had 3 carries for 5 yards. That's after going almost to 400 a year ago with the Raiders and
Right.
3 touchdowns. It's just, I mean, it's basically a free sixth round pick. I mean, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, they do give up their 2021 seventh round pick in exchange, so they basically are just swapping draft picks.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. DeAndre Washington had 10 snaps all year, and his 10 snaps came in week 7 against the Broncos and that blowout win. He wasn't getting used all that much, and that's not a surprise when they did add Le'Veon Bell. He was actually on the practice squad for a while. And I think another piece that plays into this,
Mhm.
I didn't really think about this until later, was Anthony Sherman's going to be coming back off of the COVID list here pretty soon. And
Oh.
him coming back might have something to do with this deal. And instead of just straight outright cutting him, getting a pick for him isn't going to be bad. I don't think DeAndre Washington is a terrible football player either. He's just stuck behind some really good football players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't even think about the Sherman thing, but what it comes back to for me is those late round picks usually are like crapshoots in the NFL. But
Yeah.
when you have a GM like Brett Veach, I mean, last year, Rashad Fenton, sixth round pick, Darwin Thompson, sixth round pick, Nick
Hmm.
Allegretti, seventh round pick, Bo Pete Keys this year, seventh round pick. The jury's still out on him. Even Tremont Smith back in 2018. I mean, he wasn't a huge impact player, but he still got on the field and played meaningful snaps. So if there's anyone I trust with not only my life, but also a sixth round pick, it's probably Brett Veach.
Yes, the Miami Dolphins also made another trade earlier in the day. It was an intra division,
Mm-hmm.
inter division. I always get confused with the NFL because you have leagues, divisions, conferences.
Sure.
I don't. The division was right because they traded their wide receiver. I can't remember off the top of my head. You might remember. They traded a wide receiver to the New England Patriots, who are very badly hurting for a wide receiver. And then they get now DeAndre Washington. I'm sure he'll fit in well with Miami. Like you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, they are struggling in the run game. And to get a draft pick out of a guy that was probably not going to get you anything at the end of the year either was probably a good move by Brett Veach because he was only signed to a 1 year deal.
Yeah, it's something smart teams do. I mean, if they recognize that you never want to give away a player, and I mean,
Mhm.
the pick swap makes it a little bit better from Miami's perspective instead of just basically giving away your 2021 sixth rounder. But the Chiefs moved up. I mean, who knows what that pick will turn into, but for a guy that was going to leave anyway and wasn't making much of an impact on the field, I don't think you could ask for a much better trade.
Yeah, I agree. Now, this trade did kind of surprise me a little bit, I guess. I didn't expect the
Yeah.
Chiefs to sell, but I knew that they had guys, like they were rostering 5 running backs, which
Mhm.
seems absurd. And now they're only rostering 4, but they're about to bring back a fifth one. If you think about Anthony Sherman, they still have 4 tight ends, I think, on their roster. Still some weird roster alignment from the Chiefs here. Maybe we'll see them kind of fine tune it up when they head into this last part of the year. Could still sign some free agents to shore up maybe the linebacking core or the interior offensive line. There's still options there. Are you surprised, Jordan, as a league as a whole? It seems like a pretty dead trade deadline. We had some exciting movement yesterday with a couple trades right back to back. Adam Schefter, I heard him say, "Hey, it's going to be a crazy 2 days," but then
Mhm.
this Tuesday was kind of a dud.
Yeah, no, I did expect some major moves to be made. I mean, there were guys that were unhappy. There were guys who just really with any team, all 32 teams have guys who just aren't fits there. I mean,
Mhm.
DeAndre Washington and the Chiefs are a perfect example. The fit just
Yeah,
wasn't there. He's a fine football player. He's a good backup running back to have, but the Chiefs have a billion backup running backs already and just brought one in a couple weeks ago and are going to bring another running back fullback from the COVID list in Anthony Sherman. So, I mean, it's just an unfortunate circumstance, and the Chiefs turned it into an improvement of their 2021 late round picks. So I was a little bit surprised about the lack of moves
mhm.
overall throughout the league. Who knows if the virus had something to do with that, or teams just for financial reasons didn't want to do it. But really, a
Yeah.
pretty quiet week.
Yeah, sadly, I always like a nice, exciting trade deadline. We didn't get to see Will Fuller moved. He had talks to go to maybe to Miami. I saw talks to Green Bay. Green Bay is kind of at odds with who the people on the field want and who the people in the
Mhm.
front office want. That could be something to watch too, especially as we near the playoff race and see what's going to happen. The league, the NFL, and the NFLPA, I think, have a proposition to boost
Mhm.
this to a 16 game postseason. We haven't talked about that on the podcast because I guess I really just haven't found the time. But I think it's perfect to talk about, right now with our just little short episode here. That it's going to be interesting, especially to see what teams made trades, how they got better, and what teams didn't make trades, and what teams didn't kind of keep themselves up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even teams like the Chargers, who have a upstart young quarterback in Justin Herbert, who have kind of been blowing leads in typical Chargers fashion, they were a team that I wouldn't necessarily want to face in the wild card round. I mean, the Denver Broncos came back on them and looked pretty solid. If Drew Lock
Yeah.
is on, they can be a tough opponent for some teams. Obviously, looking at the Chiefs, there aren't many bad matchups for them out there, so it's not too concerning. But more football is better for me. It's better for you. It's better for all of us, I think.
It is indeed, Jordan. I appreciate you joining me for this exclusive Roughing the Kicker video. Maybe we should do a little bit more of these, a little impromptu, little video content. I love to do videos for Roughing the Kicker.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think people would be happy to. It'd be kind of a way for us to get some more people to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below if you enjoyed this video with any suggestions or improvements for the future, as always. And I like it. I think it's a pretty good idea. We should do more of them.
Of course, Jordan, go follow him on Twitter at the best foot with an EFWD. He'll be on Thursday's podcast. You can find that at smarturl.it/roughing. I guess it's a forward slash, actually. I get those slashes
Same
confused.
thing.
It's just your normal slash. Whatever you
Yeah.
would type in a website, that's the slash that you would use.
Yeah.
Slash roughing. Find full episode there. Mark Van Sickle joins me on tomorrow's episode. We talk about the running game. Not a very liked topic, I guess I should say. We talk about Christian McCaffrey returning, the Chiefs' lack of a running game against the Jets, what they can do next week with the Panthers, who are ranked 28th in run defense, and what the Chiefs can do to improve their run defense. Lots of topics that we cover, and I even sneak in a little Travis Kelce rant. So you're going to want to check that episode out tomorrow. Thank you for watching and listening to us talk. This has been an episode of Roughing the Kicker, I guess, on arrowheadreport.com. Thanks.